Hey, welcome to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Carissimo. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time, we're live, as if you've been watching us messing around with all this technology we got back here, getting this back up and running. But yeah, here we are. We're live. We're here to help you mastermind to grow your real estate business. And we're talking about such an essential part of your real estate business today, and that's fact finding. So many times, an agent will just be going off of the most basic information and not really truly understanding your buyer or seller, understanding your client, because we're not able to fully service them and make the transaction as smooth as possible if we don't know everything that we need to know. So we're going to talk today about getting the details. And look, this is going to help you out initially for getting their business in the first place, whether this is a lead coming in from like Zillow or Realtor.com or something like that. So to make you more effective in working with those leads, this is essential for that. But then once you have them as a client, now moving forward to streamline the transaction and make this as effective as possible, make you the best possible real estate agent. And the point of all that is not only to provide a great service for your client, but when we do our job well, it makes our job easier, which makes us more efficient, which allows us to help more clients. But it all comes from having the right knowledge about your client. You never want to assume that you know everything about the client, because you don't know until you ask. And even then, when you do ask, you still don't know until you get an answer, and a truthful, honest, open answer. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Not only getting these answers, but making sure that these are accurate answers and confirming these answers. This is so essential to any sort of sales, but especially in real estate, because this is so knowledge-based. So I'm really excited to bring today's show to you. I'm John Carissimo. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. You're watching State of Real Estate.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time, grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. When you get a chance. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Carissimo. Every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, we're here with you live. Matter of fact, speaking of live, let me get our chats loaded up here. So if you've got questions with this, or maybe you've been running into some sort of issues with your clients, if that's the case, drop that in the comments so we could help you out and help you really understand everything about your clients. So maybe there's a particular roadblock it is that you've been hitting. Maybe a couple of clients, you keep running into some sort of issue that you're having to feel it almost like you're pulling your hair out to try to figure out, well, what is it that I do? Why is this even a problem in the first place? You know, that's how we make this the most effective and most beneficial show for you guys here, is that we really make it about you. So any of those questions you got, drop that in the comments. And even if it's not related to real estate, maybe it's from a past career that you've had, maybe you've done sales before, or even customer service before, and you've ran into issues where it gets frustrating. So those moments of frustration, it's usually because we're doing something wrong. And first, we've got to be able to admit that we're doing something wrong, because only when we can admit that we're doing something wrong are we able to try to correct this and do something right. So you've got to take full ownership and full responsibility for not only taking on the client, but making it as smooth of a transaction as possible for your client. So let's first start off with just some basic kind of things it is that you want to find out. So maybe you're brand new to real estate, and if that's the case, I want to go through and give a couple questions that you could ask. So let's actually go through this situation of, we've got a lead. And what happens a lot of time is, especially with buyer leads, we're getting these leads and they've already done some sort of research. They've already looked into a property. They already found a home it is that they're interested in, but that's where they really need to use us. They need to get in contact with us. And so ideally, we want to get in before that need actually arises, because if we're waiting until they need us, then they've already got their own things going on in their head that they're not telling us, and they're associating us with the seller if we're dealing with a buyer. So we want to try to get in as early as possible, but the reality is most people are going to do some searching online. They're going to do some research online before they contact us, and a lot of times they're only going to contact us once they say, hey, look, this is the house I want. You can let me in there, so come take me to see it. So let's do a little role play here. Let's say that, a call is coming in. Call's coming in. Hey, John, I saw you on your website this property on 123 Main Street, or maybe this is a Zillow lead. Hey, I saw off of 123 Main Street that it's available for sale. I'm really interested in this property. Can you take me to see it sometime? Absolutely, done. We'll absolutely get you in there. What time would work best for you? Now, this is probably what you're already doing. You're going straight into getting an appointment, which is ideal, because if we don't get to an appointment, if we don't get to that logical next step, then we don't have any opportunity to serve this client. So we go to make an appointment, and we say, hey, look, are you available? Let's say Wednesday at 12 noon. Are you available? Yes, Wednesday works great for me. Oh, fantastic. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to give you the address for my office. You can go ahead and meet me here. Oh, wait a minute. I know I wanted to see the property. Oh, yeah, of course. No, we're going to see the property, but we just need to go in the office and go over a couple things first and foremost before we're able to go see the property. It's only going to take a few minutes. Are you ready for that address? So, now notice what I've done here. I've taken control of the conversation. Now, when that call comes in, the control of the conversation is by who's calling you. They're asking us for something. Hey, I want to go see this house. Can you take me to see it? Absolutely, done. Does this time work for you? Or maybe they're even asking for time. Hey, can you take us to see the property later today? Done, absolutely. And, there's this thought process, and I hear a lot of realtors do this, where, you're sitting there and you're like, oh, let me look at my schedule. Let me see if I could figure this out. And you've got a blank schedule. You've got an empty slate, and you want to seem like you're in demand and whatnot. So you say, oh, let me look at my schedule here. I'll check my schedule, and I'll let you know if I could help you out. You know what they're going to do? They're going to call somebody who's ready and willing and excited to assist them. Somebody calls me up and says, hey, can you show me this property? Done. Absolutely. Let's put it on the calendar. Let's get a time. And if it turns out it doesn't work with your schedule, call them up. Hey, look, I didn't have my calendar in front of me. I actually do have another appointment here, but I could actually do this time. Is that okay? Great, fantastic. I was just looking at that property. I'm super excited to show it to you. I've got some printouts here at the office. I'm going to go ahead and show you and walk you through all this stuff. And I actually want to take a look at a couple other homes just in case this one isn't perfect for you. So I've already got a couple ideas. But yeah, we're going to go over that all at the office. So what's going on here? We're getting an opportunity to fact find. This is a mistake that so many agents make, is that call will come in, they say, hey, I want to look at 123 Main Street, and they'll just go, okay, perfect, yeah, let's go meet at 123 Main Street. You take them to 123 Main Street, they look at the property, they don't like it, and then what do they say? We'll call you. And do they ever call you? Not too often. Very rarely. Because, again, they're having control of the conversation. And look, if they found you off of Zillow or Realtor.com or Trulia.com or Homes.com or any of these websites that allow for a search portal for them to look at properties, where are they going to go after they didn't like that house? Well, they're going to go back on Zillow. They're going to go back on Realtor.com. They're going to go back on Trulia. They're going to back to wherever it was that they were searching. And then there's going to be another agent that pops up, and they're not even going to remember who you are because you did not contribute any value other than just showing them the property. So this is why this fact finding is so important, and why so many agents miss the boat with buyers, is because they don't even make an opportunity to find out about that buyer. All they care about, and maybe this isn't all it is, but look, when you're going to show them that property, and you're just, taking them straight to that property, all you're doing is just trying to make a quick sale. You're being lazy and not taking the time to really get to know them. And look, that's what's really going on here. So you bringing them into your office, you're doing both of you a favor. You're doing the client a favor, and you're doing yourself a favor. So we get the client into the office. And look, this is why we've got to be sold on this fact finding. So in order for me to be able to best assist you, I just need a few minutes to sit down in my office, just to go over some stuff, just to really make sure that this property is going to be the one for you, because there are a few other properties available in this area that you might like better, a few of them that might not even be on Zillow or wherever it is that they're searching yet. So that's the importance of bringing them in, so we can now really get to know them. You know, we ask the basic questions, and almost everyone will do this, or really make an assumption sometimes about this. Well, how many bedrooms did you want? How many baths did you want? Did you want a swimming pool? How many garage units did you want? This is all stuff they could look up online. You know, and maybe the portals aren't always this advanced where they could really narrow down all these details, but that's not the value that you're adding. It's one of the things, it's one of the benefits of them directly corresponding with you, is you could get them access to a client version of the MLS portal where they basically can search like you can. So you're empowering them with the most accurate data, and now it's all branded solely around you. So this is your channel to direct them through, rather than just going through one of these third-party sites like Zillow or whatever it may be, where they're just going to be bombarded by other agents advertising nonstop on there. But again, what they want out of us is to see that property. So before we could give them what they want, we need to have this consultation. That's really what this is. So you need to always be doing a consultation, especially with buyers. Sellers, this is a little bit more status quo, to kind of, do a little bit of a consultation and go over some stuff ahead of time. That's pretty common, but with buyers, I rarely see an agent that effectively does a consultation with the client. And this is so important. And the thing that's going against us in this day and age that makes it where we have to work a little bit more to get this consultation, because back in the days before there was Zillow or anything like that, people would walk into real estate offices and say, hey, I want to buy a house, can you help me with that? I haven't looked at any houses yet, I'd like to look at some. Or maybe they'd pick up one of those little home magazines or something like that, but even then, off those home magazines, it is just a primitive version of this. So this consultation aspect is so important. Even though they want to get right there into seeing the house, hey, look, it's only going to take a few minutes, and this is really going to help me make sure that this is the right home for you, and it's really going to help us expedite the process. So it's only going to take a few minutes. I'll go ahead and send you the address for my office. It's really close to the property. It's not too far. Even if it's 10, 15 miles away, it's in the same market. It's fairly close to that property. And when you bring them into the office, when you bring them in for this consultation, this is your opportunity to wow them, to really showcase that you are a true professional. Because what this does is this sets the tone. Because if we're just meeting them at the property, what are some things that could happen? So if we just go and meet them at the property rather than doing a consultation in our office, they might be there before us. And even if we're still early, we don't look like a professional when they show up to the property before us. They're sitting there in their car, waiting for their realtor. They're maybe getting out of the car and doing this deal, peeking into the windows, looking at the property. They might even leave before you even get there just because they showed up early. Now, when they're coming to your office, you're basically showing them that there's a step in this process before we start looking at the homes. You don't want to jump the gun and go right into selling homes. I know, you might feel worried about, well, what if they don't want to come into my office? What if they say no, that I just want to see the home? You need to emphasize the importance of not skipping this crucial first step of discussing this home buying process, of discussing exactly what this property entails, of what it is that they're looking for ideally, about how it is that they're going about this, about their property that they're living in now. Maybe they need to sell their current property. Orchestrating this whole process, especially if they're selling their current property and getting into another one, can get very complex. And if we're just making assumptions about what's going on, this is where you end up having to put out fires. By doing an effective consultation, it's going to take some time. It's an extra step in the process, but it will really show you how you could truly service this client, what it is that you expect out of them, and what it is that you're going to do in the transaction, and what they can expect out of you. So this consultation is so essential. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, We're going to go into some details about dealing with a buyer consultation and some of these real questions it is that you should be asking. Not just how many bedrooms, how many baths, blah, 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 all that nonsense. No. We're going to get clear up front. We're going to find out the bedrooms and baths, but that's a given. We're going to dig a little bit deeper. We're going to go in and it's like a doctor's appointment. And we're going to ask these questions about what it is that they're doing. And sometimes they might not want to answer, but that's where we have to be skilled in extracting this information. In order to do that, you've got to build the trust. You've got to build rapport. So we're going to, hopefully now you understand the importance of doing a consultation with every single client, whether they're a buyer or a seller. What we're going to be talking about next is getting in detail of what you should be doing during this consultation. But before that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stick with us. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
Have you seen what's going on in Tampa?
If you're looking to get in on the real estate action that's going on in Tampa right now, we're who you need to talk to. We can help you get your real estate license, start your real estate career. We're here to assist you for the life of your real estate career. Give us a call. Phone number is 813-928-0106 or check us out online at tampaschool.com.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. Before we get back into doing the consultation, just a quick shout out to Uber Driver 101. Thanks for the tip on the hashtags. They seem already to be working, so we'll keep trying that out. But let's get right back into it about talking about this consultation. So essential that we have this consultation. This is the crucial first step that is so often skipped because, agents see it as a waste of time. A waste of time that buyers don't want to do, and buyers also see it as a waste of time. So, if you agree on that, you're just going to skip this, and you're going to end up having problems later down the road in the sale with this client because you did not do a consultation. And look, they're not wanting to come into your office. They want to see the property. So this is why you really need to sell and be sold yourself on the benefits of the consultation. Hey, remember, we'll go back to that role play. Hey, I see this house on 123 Main Street. Are you able to show that to me sometime this week? Absolutely. Let's go. How does Wednesday at 12 noon work for you? Oh, that's perfect. Fantastic. And before we go to the property, let's meet at my office. I'm going to send you the address. We're going to do just a quick consultation. It'll only take a few minutes here. There's no obligations. They're not charged anything. Ultimately, I'm going to be working for you for free. But in order for me to work for you for free, we just have to go over some things up front. Does that sound fair? Yes, great. I'll see you at my address, at my office. I'm going to text you the address right now so you have that, and I'll touch base with you Tuesday just to follow up, make sure we're still good for Wednesday at noon. Does that sound good? Yes, that sounds good. Great. Can't wait to meet you in person. This is my cell number in case you have anything that comes up beforehand. Like I said, I'm going to text you right from that. Feel free at any time, day or night. Call me, text me, and I can help you out. I can't wait to meet you on Wednesday. Have a nice day. See how quick and easy that is? Now, you might say, well, John, what if you're not available? How do you know you're available on Wednesday? Don't you have to check your calendar? Look, make the appointment, get the appointment, And then if you find out, you did have something at that time, hey, hey, this is John, I'm so sorry about this. I feel so bad about this, but I didn't have my calendar up when I made that appointment. I'm so sorry. I apologize a million times. Look, I still want to show you the property. Does this time work for you? Yes, that's perfect. Fantastic. Great. We'll do the same thing. Meet at my office. You've got that address that I texted you, correct? Perfect. Can't wait to see you Tuesday. And so don't do that BS where you're saying, oh, let me look at my calendar. I don't know. I'm such a busy realtor. That in this day and age, people don't buy that. And when you're coming across that, it's a privilege that they get to use you, people don't like that entitlement. People want somebody that's excited and motivated to assist them. So we got to get the appointment for the consultation first and foremost. And we get that by we basically make this out that this is the required first step before any homes are showed. That this is standard, which when you first start doing this, you're not going to be 100% sold on this yourself, but trust me, as you start to do consultations and you do effective consultations, you will see the benefit and your clients will see the benefit as well. And that's where it becomes easy. Because if they say, well, no, I don't really want to do that. Oh, hey, look, I completely understand. I know you want to see the property and that you're excited. I'm actually pretty excited to check this one out myself. I haven't been there yet. But look, this is such an important step here. And again, we touch on these things that they might be worried about. They think that maybe we're getting them in the office to try to close them on something or sell them on something. So we make that emphasis, hey, look, no obligation. Ultimately, I'm actually going to be working for you for free, and we just need to go over some stuff to make sure that that's possible. Does that sound okay? Does that sound fair? And you follow it up right with that question right there, and 99% of the time they'll say yes, great, and you keep moving forward. And then also the reminders and everything to make sure they actually show up. So like I said, calling them or texting them the day before just to confirm that you're still good, because a lot of times they'll forget about this. Not everyone is always as organized and keeps a calendar like realtors do, or like a lot of people might do, but a lot of people don't keep calendars or don't make appointments or don't put it on there or anything like that. So we need to take charge and follow up on that stuff. But now let's say we get to the consultation. So first and foremost, the greeting. So if you've got a receptionist at your office, if there's a receptionist at your office, you better make sure that this receptionist is somebody who lights up every time somebody walks in the door. That somebody walks in, hey, welcome to ABC Realty. Thanks for stopping in. What can I help you with today? Instead of, hey, how you doing? I'll be with you in just a minute. Which office would you rather walk into? And especially when you're bringing them into your office is a representation of you. They see that they're coming into your office and they get the cold shoulder from the front desk. They're not going to be feeling good. Your job is getting them excited about coming in to see you, coming in for this consultation. And then they get the cold shoulder walking in. So that's important. You need to make sure everyone is on the same page about this. That these clients, that your opportunity to service them is what makes you worth the commission it is that you charge. And look, if you're not motivated and excited for every single client, like they're $1 million client, regardless of how much it is that they can afford, they're not going to be excited about you. If you don't get excited about them, they won't be excited about you. And that doesn't just go for you, that goes for everyone that's on your team, your front desk people, your anybody that you're involving in the transaction. If you recommend maybe a home inspector or somebody like that those people better keep your same standard of excellence, because otherwise that'll rub off on you and it'll make you look bad. And this first impression is so essential because this frames everything going forward. If you frame this correctly coming into this, if you make a mistake, if you mess something up, if something happens further down the road, it's more understanding. So that greeting, so important. And if your front desk person isn't the greatest, you should be right up there waiting. You should be waiting. When you know that appointment is coming up, you should be right up at the front desk. Hey, thank you guys for stopping in. Are you Bob and Sue? Oh, so nice to meet you in person. Welcome. What can I get you to drink? Oh, no, we're fine. No, let me get you something to drink. Look, it's hot outside. I don't want you guys getting dehydrated. What do you want? Do you want water? Do you want soda? Can I get you a snack? You might say, well, John, I don't have those things in my office. Get those things in your office. Look, you got to pay a few dollars for some refreshments. Look, this shows how you're willing to go the extra mile. They're going to be impressed, and that's the first thing you need to do. You need to impress them right off the bat, because that makes your job so much easier. That makes them say, wow, this is the most professional person I've ever met. Why can't all realtors be like this? God, we don't want to talk to anybody else. No one else is this good, and all you've done is just welcome them there and offered them something to drink, and when they politely say no, because that's the polite thing to do, you say, no, I'm not going to take no for an answer. What can I get you? Look, I don't need you getting dehydrated out there. It's hot out. We're in Florida. It's sweaty. It's sultry. What do you want? A water? Coke? Sprite? Diet Coke? You're more of a Pepsi person? Can I get you some refreshments? Oh, no, we're fine. Okay, look, I'll just bring you in some waters. Is that okay? Yes, that's fine. Great. And then you bring in the waters and you get them all sat down in your little conference area. You've got everything. You want to be prepared. Because look, if you're sitting them down in this conference room to go over this consultation stuff, you're like, here, just give me a minute. Well, I print this stuff out for you. They're going to be sitting there thinking, man, this guy didn't even print the stuff out. He knew we were coming. We made this appointment last week. He didn't even print stuff out. You still got to print stuff out? Man, this guy's a joke. So be prepared. Have any documentation, anything it is that you're going to need to use ready in advance. Have the MLS because we talk about these additional properties that might be interesting to them. Have that pulled up already on your computer. Because, you never know when the MLS just wants to run a little slow. Or you never know if your computer is just going to give you some sort of issue. Maybe it's asking if you want an update. So you want to have that all taken care of in advance. You want everything ready to go 100% so that way you're prepared. And now let's get into, the actual fact finding. So what's important here is not just your basic house info. So your basic client info, what are your names, best contact, which you should already have this, and if you do, you're just confirming all of this. So maybe you have it printed out or you have it pulled up on your screen. Hey, look, I just want you to take a quick look at this to make sure everything that I have is correct. And look, if there's maybe a husband and a wife, or maybe there's multiple buyers some couple, or maybe there's somebody else that's interested. Anybody that shows up to this consultation is somebody that's involved in the transaction. Even if this is like their sister who's not going to live there, they brought that person along because that person, they value their input. So you want the contact info for everyone. And then what you can do, maybe make a group text thing or something like that, so you keep everyone right there in the loop. And that way, if you send out some information in this group text, if one of the people aren't available, the other people are available to respond to that. So, and this helps open up the lines of communication. This whole fact-finding thing is all about opening up lines of communication. Now, what we've been doing so far, the greetings, being prepared, getting them something to drink, and really kind of just getting them to open up to us, we're building rapport. We're building rapport here, and that's so essential because when you get into the tough questions, the more detailed questions that either they have to think about more or maybe that they don't want to answer, maybe we start talking about pre-approvals and things like that. No one's excited to talk about their credit score or talk about whether they've talked to a lender yet or any of that type of stuff. And what happens a lot of times is they're just so shy about talking about these topics that they'll tell you things that aren't true. And they don't mean to lie, but they're just afraid to share that information with somebody unless they trust them. So they need to see you as the trusted professional so they will be willing to share this information. As we get into more basics, so we've got the contact info, then we start talking about the property. And you get some basics. So tell me about the ideal property. Tell me about the ideal property. Oh yeah, well we're looking for 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. And you're going to find out some things, and it's really good if you have some sort of questionnaire sheet or something like that, because especially the first time you're doing a consultation, you might draw a blank on these important things to ask, so you want to write out all basics. Do they want 1-story or 2-story? Are they looking for a single-family home, a condo, a townhome? How big of a yard are they looking for? What about, do they want a pool? How many garage units? All of this details. What's their preferences on flooring and things like that. And then after you've gone through this list, you want to also ask them, okay, so I've got all these things here. Can you tell me the 3 most important things? Because I'm going to do my best to find you this ideal property in your price range, but I'm not a magician, and I'm not able to just build a house that automatically fits that. So if we do have to compromise on some things, what are the things that are non-negotiables that we have to have? What are the things that you'd be willing to compromise on? And we establish this right up front. Because if they tell you they want this many bedrooms, that they want a garage, that they want this many baths, that they want a pool, that they want a big yard, and they want it to be 1-story, and they want it to be in this neighborhood, and we've got all these things where we're like, oh, I got to find this property. And you're like, man, I don't know if there's going to be any properties with all these details it is that they've given me. But that's why we have to establish up front. I'm going to do my best to find a property that hits all of these for you, but in case that's not available, in case that's not an option, then what are you going to be willing to compromise on? What are the things that you'd be okay living without, and what are the things that are non-negotiables? And you go down that list and you find out, and maybe you come up with some sort of ranking. What's most important? What's least important? So that gives you the information you need as you're assisting them in this home search, and this helps give them clarity. Because you know what? They probably haven't thought about what they'd be willing to give up. They just have this pie-in-the-sky dream that, yeah, I want this house that's got everything I'm looking for, and I'm not satisfied until I find that. And then what happens typically is, they're doing all this searching, and they finally realize that they're willing to settle. But, that's after they've looked at 100 different homes or basically run themselves ragged, and they're just wore out, and they just don't care anymore. So by establishing this up front, you're actually working with them on an exercise of, okay, well, let me think about what would I be willing to give up? What is most important? What can I not give up, and what would I give up? And you also want to ask about the previous property. So, okay, let's change gears a little bit. Tell me about your previous property. Where is it that you guys live now? Okay, great. Do you own that? Do you rent that? Okay, you own that. Great, fantastic. So tell me what it is your favorite part about this property. What's your favorite part about it? What do you like most about the property? Oh, I don't know. We're kind of just sick of it. Yeah, but if you had to pick. So don't accept these little brush it off type of answers where they don't really give you an answer. Do not accept those brush it off answers. Dig deeper. Hey, no, if I completely understand, but if you had to pick, what's your favorite part about it? What is it that you enjoyed the most out of this property? When you're selling this property, what would you tell buyers that's the best part about this property? Oh, well, we really liked the kitchen, how big it was. What happens there? If they didn't mention anything about the kitchen up here, say, okay, yeah, great. Now I know that we didn't actually specify that here when we were talking about your ideal property here. Do you want a property that also has a big spacious kitchen? You know what? I hadn't even thought about that. Yes, I do. Great. Now, where would you put this on the scale? How important is that? Oh, yeah, I would definitely put that up there. Okay, well, tell me about this then. What's your second most favorite thing about your current property? Oh, and then they see what you're doing here. They see that you're trying to counsel them and get this information. So they probably haven't even thought this themselves. So they're like, oh, yeah, you know what? You know what we really do like about this property? It's got a nice long driveway. We're really set back from the road, and, we've got kids, and, we don't want to be right there on top of a busy road. Oh, I'm so glad we're doing this here because that's super important information. Great. Not on a busy road. Your ideal property is not on a busy road. How important would you say that is? Would you say that's more important than this or less important? And this is how you're establishing this information, and this is really what is so beneficial, and they get to open up about the property because they see us as, now they're starting to see us as somebody that could help them find their dream home. But now we have to really paint that picture of what the dream home is. So this is why it's so important, because what happens with a lot of realtors, especially when you skip this step, is you go right into showing them a home. They don't like that, and if you're so lucky to get a second appointment with them to show them another home, they might not like that either, because they're not even sure what it is that they want. There's no criteria established for what it is that they're looking for. And it's not just as simple as asking them, well, what do you want in a home? Okay, great, let's go find that. It's what do you want? What's most important? What are you willing to compromise? What about your previous home do you like? Now, what about your previous home do you dislike? What's your biggest reason for wanting to move? Oh, the location? Great. Yeah, I see we've got that up here. So the location, that's definitely not something you want to compromise on, correct? And if you had to choose, what's more important? Location, number one, or the second thing on that list, maybe location or the number of bedrooms. Oh, geez, that's tough. You know, we need to have 4 bedrooms, and we really need to have an ideal location. Hey, I completely understand that. So let me ask you this. If I found you a 4-bedroom home that meets everything else, that has all of your other criteria here, but it's not in that perfect neighborhood, would you still consider that? Would you be okay living in that property even though it's not in that neighborhood? And again, you're asking these tough questions to get them to think about this, to think about these scenarios. And then what happens is this makes it so much easier to narrow down the properties to the ones that are going to be the best opportunities for them. And then as we start to segue out of this, you know, what is it they like and dislike about the previous property, so we could further define that ideal property for them? Great, fantastic. So let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about what it is that I will do for you as your real estate professional. Now, again, I already told you on the phone that there's no obligation for you to pay me the commission. Through the MLS system, I actually have agreements with every property that's available in the MLS that the seller will pay for my commission. So you don't have to worry about that. It's at no obligation to you. Now, that being said, since I am working for free for you, I want to make sure that I could service you in the best way possible, so I could earn that commission that I'd be getting from the seller. And this is how I would plan on doing that. I'm going to help you through the home search process. And what you're doing here now is you're helping frame what it is that you're going to do, and then you turn the tables and say, hey, look, so this is what I'm going to be doing for you, and now this is what I would expect out of you guys here, so I could really assist you. Everything it is that we've gone through so far, if any of these details change, let me know as soon as possible so we could all be on the same page, because I am a great real estate professional and I could do a fantastic job helping you, but that's only if we have clear lines of communication. If there's any information that's being held back, it's hurting me in being able to help you. It's giving me a disability and a disadvantage in being able to assist you in the best way that I can. So then you go through and you frame what it is that you expect out of them. Hey, look, I'm going to go ahead and give you a portal. Now, this portal, it might not be as pretty as Zillow, and you've got to click the link in your email to get into this portal, but look, this is the most accurate information, and it's going to be up to date. It's going to be much more thorough than what you're finding anywhere else online, and you're actually able to go in there and you're able to highlight and star and favorite the properties it is that you're most interested in. And then that way I could see that immediately, and I could get a better idea of what type of properties it is are going to be best for you. We already have got a pretty good idea, but if there's any way we can narrow this down further, it's going to make our lives, both of our lives, so much easier. And we go through and we frame all of this stuff. And then we say, okay, great. Well, I'm ready to start going to work for you. All we need to go do is to get started is have you sign off on this buyer brokerage agreement. Now, it does specify in here a commission that is due. But again, this commission is going to be paid for by the seller. And if the seller is going to pay a lower amount here, then I'm not going to hold you guys to pay the balance of that. We'll just decrease this to whatever that lower rate is. And maybe you want to do this differently. Maybe you do want to hold the buyer accountable for, let's say, the buyer brokerage agreement specifies 3%, but a seller is only paying 2.5% commission. Then if you want to hold them accountable to that extra 0.5%, by all means, but you don't have to. You could always just say, hey, look, you know, if a seller's not willing to pay that full price of commission, then we could renegotiate that where you don't have to pay for it and maybe offer a higher price, or however it is that you want to handle the business. That's where you've got to input your part of the business here. But again, practice that delivery of this information. This whole consultation, to make sure it's done the most effectively, you should role play this whole thing start to finish with a friend, a coworker, somebody like that. And what you also want to do, look, these devices are so powerful. Just switch it in the camera mode, turn on the video, and record the interaction. So you could see how it is that you sound. You could hear how it is that you sound. You could see the the excitement it is that you have, because if you're sitting there, okay, well, how many bedrooms do you want? Okay. How many bathrooms? Okay. Do you want a pool? Okay. What's the most important? Okay. So if you watch yourself, you'll see, man, I got to pep it up a little bit. And you're going back and you're reviewing the tapes of yourself, you're able to really hone in on this. And the ideal here is to practice with the people that aren't your clients. Because these clients, these are maybe $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 commissions on the line when you're dealing with them. And, if you're going in there like an amateur, you're going to get paid like an amateur. And guess what? Amateurs don't really get paid. So you got to be a professional to be paid, and you got to convey that professionalism. But look, the ideal time to do this fact-finding is immediately in a consultation. Regardless of how far along they are in the buying process, as soon as they want to start working with you and utilize your services, you do a consultation. Now, going back to, we get that call, that lead from, Zillow or wherever it is. Hey, I want to look at 123 Main Street. Can you show me that property? Done. Absolutely. How does this time work for you? Perfect. Great. Now, what I need you to do before that is come to my office to do a consultation. Oh, I don't want to do a consultation. I just want to see the property. Hey, look, this is super important. You need to do this consultation. No, and we're already doing a bad job pitching this here because we're not really showing the value. We're just saying, well, it's something you need to do, which, again, we've got to show the value here. But let's say whatever happens, maybe we pitch it bad or we just can't get them to come to the office ahead of time for whatever reason. Hey, look, let's do this then. Let's go take a look at the property. And, if that property works out and you want to get under contract, great. We don't have to do any sort of consultation. But if this property isn't 100% for you guys, I really want you to come back to my office so we could go ahead and go over some stuff here. Now, ideally, you want that consultation up front because that gives you the opportunity to welcome them to your world. To really say, hey, welcome to ABC Real Estate. I'm John Chrismo, who you'll know as the best realtor in the world shortly. Who, after this transaction, you're going to be wanting to scream at the top of mountains to all of your friends and family and even people you don't know about how they need to use John Chrismo or whoever you are. So this really is so essential in framing this. And again, you get them into your office, you go through this whole consultation, they're already seeing the value in you, and they've even looked at the house. And once you've kind of built this rapport, and you've done everything, and I would say, do this after you've signed off on that buyer brokerage agreement with them, is to then talk about the financing, then talk about the money. So that way they're already basically bought into you, and even though they're not paying anything out of pocket, by them signing on that paper, signing on your little tablet or however it is that you're doing it, by them signing off, they've bought into you. You're now their real estate professional, and they want you to help them. And at this point, this is usually going to be when they're the most honest. Fantastic. Now, last couple things. So just in case you guys really do love this property today, and you're ready to make an offer on it, look, it's a very competitive market right now. And if we make an offer without any sort of pre-approval, then our offer probably is not going to be considered. So let me ask you this. Have you already talked to a lender yet? No, you haven't? Well, we've got a lender on staff right here in the office who could just do real quick, get you a pre-qualification, so that way if you guys do want to make an offer, we can make sure we get that property before anybody else does. We could get that first offer in and potentially get you the best price before anybody else is going to try to outbid us later. But we need to have that pre-approval ready. If in this market, seconds can make all the difference. Oh, okay, well, yeah, I guess we need to do that. Great. I'm going to go ahead and bring them in here so we can go ahead and talk with you guys and make sure everything is all good to go and get you that pre-approval. And now we've got everything we need. And, okay, just before we go look at this house here, there's a couple more in the neighborhood here. I've already set up appointments for them. These are the other ones that we're going to look at. So let's get out there. Perfect. So now we get out there, we start showing the properties. We're keeping track of the information, what it is that they like, what it is that they don't like about the properties. And look, when they don't like something, don't be the person trying to sell them, well, yeah, and all properties are going to have its defects. Don't try to oppose them. Try to agree with them. Hey, yeah, no, I completely understand. Yeah, I'd be worried about the roof too. I'll put that down here, and we'll make sure that any properties we look at have a roof. But would you say that would be something that would make you not consider this property at all? No, I would still consider it. Okay, well, if you do still want to do this property here, we could always negotiate in and repair for the roof. Oh, really? Yo, absolutely. Well, I didn't know that. Again, opening the lines of communication, but you have to establish those lines of communication. You have to establish the relations before you're able to go and have this back and forth with them. So look, that's about all the time it is that we have for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Look, if you want to watch the replay of this episode or any of our previous episodes of State of Real Estate, go to tampaschool.com/success. Again, that's tampaschool.com/success. This is our Success Center. We've got hundreds of videos of State of Real Estate, Ask the Instructor, calculators, articles, so much content that will help you build a successful real estate career, for understanding the technical side to getting into being best able to assist your clients. And look, if you got any post-licensing courses coming up, give us a call. We've got a great online program in case you got this September 30th deadline coming up, or maybe you've got one in the future. If you need to continue education, let us know. Or look, if you're just interested in this stuff and you don't have a real estate license, give us a call and we'll be able to walk you through the process to obtain your Florida real estate license. That phone number is 813-333-2676. Again, 813-333-2676. Again, that's about all the time we have for today. If you guys got your license already, get out there this weekend and make some things happen. Get some consultation appointments. Start implementing this immediately, because look, you don't want to go through another transaction where you don't have a consultation. It's such an essential portion of the sale, but it's almost always overlooked, especially when you're dealing with buyers. Again, that's it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate.
Have you seen what's going on in Tampa?
If you're looking to get in on the real estate action that's going on in Tampa right now, we're who you need to talk to. We can help you get your real estate license, start your real estate career. We're here to assist you for the life of your real estate career. Give us a call. Phone number is 813-928-0106, or check us out online at tampaschool.com.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate.